बस एक निकाल दो उसका। हाँ क्या हुआ? उसका स्पीकर यार मेरे हाथ में लगा हुआ सैनिटाइजर। वो एक पिन और होगी ना फातिमा जी को लाइव है। थैंक्स फॉर लेटिंग मी नो। एक पिन थी लगी मेरे हाथ आपके हाथ अच्छा कपड़ा रखा हुआ कौन से रोजे से
थोड़ा सा टाइट करें। शब चाक गरेबां सहर्द गरिया गुनाह है. Brothers and sisters, tonight we are commemorating the Shab-e-Zarbat of Imam Ali alayhi salam. I'd like to request you all, if you are eating, please be seated so we can start our program, because after the majlis we do have a matam inshallah. So please help us out and stay in the program. With that, we're going to start with the salam. I'm going to request Brother Mohsin Ladeb to come in and recite the salam. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Allah.
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی، ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں. دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی، ایک پیاسا تھا ایک روزے سے، ایک شوہر تھا ایک بیٹا تھا. ایک شوہر تھا ایک بیٹا تھا. زہرا پہ قیامت ٹوٹ گئی، زہرا پہ قیامت ٹوٹ گئی. ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی. ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی. ایک بیت علی کا بابا تھا، ایک باپ کے جیسا بھائی تھا. ایک باپ کے جیسا بھائی تھا. دو بار یتیم ہوئی بی بی، دو بار یتیم ہوئی بی بی. ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی. ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی. ایک بار علی کو چھڑوانے، ایک بار حسین کے سرہانے، ایک بار حسین کے سرہانے، روتی ہوئی آئی بنت نبی، روتی ہوئی آئی بنت نبی، ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی، ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی۔ ایک باپ کو گھر میں لاتے ہوئے، ایک زیں سے زمین پر آتے ہوئے، ایک زیں سے زمین پر آتے ہوئے، ایک زیں سے زمین پر آتے ہوئے، سرور نے صدا عباس کو دی، سرور نے صدا عباس کو دی، ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی، ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی۔ ایک پیاسا تھا ایک روزے سے، ایک شوہر تھا ایک بیٹا تھا، ایک شوہر تھا ایک بیٹا تھا، زہرا پہ قیامت ٹوٹ گئی، زہرا پہ قیامت ٹوٹ گئی، ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی، ایک مسجد میں ایک مقتل میں دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی۔ بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔
احسن، جزاک اللہ محسن عاطق۔ دو بار نماز شہید ہوئی، ایک مقتل میں ایک مسجد میں۔ Now I'm going to request Brother Aulad Hussain to come and recite the Soz and Marsiya. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Salawat.
صلوات اللہ غریبوں کے چار رگر مولا، غریبوں کے چار رگر مولا، آج زخمی ہے تیرا سر مولا، آج زخمی ہے تیرا سر مولا، کربلا کا ہے نقطہ آغاز سوئے جنت تیرا، سفر مولا سوئے جنت تیرا، سفر مولا تیرا مولود بھی خانہ یق ہے اور مقتل خدا کا گھر مولا، اور مقتل خدا کا گھر تیرا بیٹا شہید کربلا، بیٹیاں تیری در بدر مولا بیٹی جا تیری در بدر دو تزلے غریب دکھیا کو دیکھو زینب نو اگر مولا دیکھو زینب نو اگر سر حسین غریب کا ہوگا روز عاشور نے سے پہ مولا روز عاشور نے تیرے پہ مولا تیرا کنبہ اسیر ظلم و ستم تیرا بیٹا بری دسر مولا تیرا بیٹا بری دسر مولا تیری الفت میں جان سے جائیں اتنے احسان ہم پہ کر مولا اتنا احسان ہم پہ کر روز محشر ہمارا نذرانہ بس جاوید شمع تر مولا جاوید سے میں مولا غریبوں کے چار رگر مولا جو زخمی ہے رسر مولا نعرہ صلوات فاتحہ روزدارو بکا کے یہ روزے سادات نزول و بلا کے روزے سرتاج اولیاء کے عزا کے یہ روز ہیں تم سے بدائے شیر خدا کے یہ روز تم سے بدائے شیر خدا کے یہ روز ہے زخمی ہوا امام تمہارا نماز میں ظالم نے روزے دار تمہارا نماز ظالم نے روزے دار تمہارا نماز میں ماہ رمضان اور خدا کا گھر تڑکار نور وہ شب قدر کی سحر پیش خدا سے جمے شیر خدا کا سر رہایت ظلم ضربت اور رہایت ظلمت ضربت فرق پر فوار خون کے زخم جبل سے بہا کیے سجدے میں یا رب العلا کہا سجدے میں یا رب العلا کہا کیے سر پیٹو مومنوں سر حیدر وادنی ایمان کے برج کا مہینور ہوا دنی سوچو تو فخشا کا کیوں کر ہوا دنی لکھا ہے مغزتر سر یتھر ہوا لکھا ہے مغزتر یتھر ہوا دنی زہران بال کھولے نبی ننگ سر ہوئے تمہیں بے امام اور حسن بے پدر تم بے امام اور حسن بے پدر لکھا ہے جب لو نیم ہوا فرخ مرتضی تذرے سے جبرائیل کے رونے کا گل اٹھا پھینکی سر سے زینب کلثوم نے ردا چلا کے بھائیوں کو پکاری غضب چلا کے بھائیوں کو پکاری غضب دعا سنتے ہو جبرائیل نے اس وقت کیا کہا وہ بولے پیٹ کر قتل مرتضیٰ وہ بولے پیٹ کر قتل مرتضیٰ ہوا دوڑے یہ کہہ کے جانبے مسجد حضاد نے ڈوبی ہوئی لہو میں ملی کشتی نجات ماتھے پہ خون باپ کا مر کر کہی یہ بات ہے اٹھایا قبلوں کا باپ کے ہے اٹھایا قبلوں کا باپ کے اس نے ہار دعایا نانا جان کو دارالسلام میں بن باپ کا کیا خیمہ سیاہ بن باپ کا کیا ہمیں سیاہ ناگا نمازیوں کا گرو آئے نگ سرے حیدر نے مشتبہ سے کہا آنکھیں کھول کر پڑھوا تم نمازیں جماعت کی ہے پسر ہم بیٹھے بیٹھے پڑھتے ہیں اپنے مقام ہم بیٹھے بیٹھے پڑھتے ہیں اپنے مقام پر کنجبی کے زخم پہ رومال باندھو میرا شگفتہ ہے لال باں میرا شگفتہ ہے لال باں دو باندھا حسن زخم سر شاہ ذوالجلال بولے علی کی اور کسو درد ہے کمال شبیر نے جب کسا تو پھر وہ مخال پھر چست بان کر یہ پکارا وہ خوب پھر چست بان کر وہ پکارا وہ خوب سسال عبدر کیسا ہے اسد ذوالجلال ہے ہاتھوں سے پکڑ کے کہا وہی حال ہاتھوں سے پکڑ کے کہا وہی حال پڑھوا پھر نمازے جماعت مشتبہ بابا کے سر پہ پڑھنے لگے آئے شفا ناگایا کیا کسی عورت نے دی صدا زہرا کے پیارو تم سے ہے زینب نے نو زہرا کے پیارے تم سے ہے زینب نے ہے کہا بابا کو میرے جل جو گھر میں نہ لاؤ گے تو سر بننا مجھ کو بھی مسجد پاک تو سر بننا مجھ کو بھی مسجد پاک بولے علی حواس میں علی بجا نہیں زینب سے کہہ دو کوفہ ہے یہ کربلا نہیں میں بے دیار بے کسو بے آشنا نہیں شیعہ گرد اہل نخال شیعہ گرد نظم اہل جفا نہیں پردے سے ننگے سر تو ابھی کیوں نکلتی ہے کیا حلق پہ حسین کے تلوار چلے کیا حلق پہ حسین کے تلوار ام بنی کو پایا جو صدمے میں مبتلا باہیں گلے میں ڈال کے عباس نے کہا اے اماں خطا دینے سے رد ہوتی ہے بلا بھائی حسن حسین زہرا کے دل بھائی حسن حسین زہرا کے دل ربا روشن کرو جہاں میں تم اپنے نام کو صدقہ اتارو شاہ نجف غلام صدقہ اتارو شاہ نجف غلام کو یہ سنے کہ اس ہراس में समला व बेखरार लेकर बुलाई बोली चलो मैं गुलजार बाबा पे तुम सारो दो मैं ये मानसा चिल्लाई मज के मजमे मातम में चिल्लाई बढ़ के मजमे मातम में सैदानी और रब के गम से पना दो सदका उतारने को आई रा सदका उतारने को आई रा बोले अली तो होश में ऐना अगर नहीं अब्बास के बिखार के तुझको खबर नहीं ये फातिमा का बेटा है तेरा पिसर नहीं शबर के लिए कोई असीस पर शबर के लिए कोई असीस पर नहीं जरा सिर्फ पूछिए इस नूरैन का ये करबला में होगा फिदिया हुसैन ये करबला में होगा हुसैन ये करबला में होगा फिदिया हुसैन का अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद मुबारक का सलवात
Jazakallah, Aulad bhai. It's a blessing after the long time. We can listen to Brother Aulad Hussain, and tomorrow inshallah Razali bhai, and then again Aulad Hussain, and then Razali bhai, and other missing Mu'mineen and Mu'minat who are going to attend the program. And inshallah, pretty soon we're going to move inside inshallah with your blessing and with your support and help inshallah ta'ala. Before I invite the Maulana, inshallah after the majlis we're going to do the matam. Followed by matam we're going to take a break for 10 minutes to just stretch ourselves, and then we're going to get together on the carpet and do the basic amal inshallah. After the basic amal, again we're going to take a break for 15 minutes and then going to start the long amal with Maulana Mirza Beg inshallah. Maulana Mirza Abbas. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad sallallahu. I hope it's not a confusion about the schedule from tomorrow onward, since it's a daytime majalis, so it will be moving back to regular timing. 7 Quran Halqa, 7:25 tomorrow Salam and Marsiya, followed by Majlis and followed by Matam, and inshallah Maghrib Salat, break for Iftar and Dua Iftitah. Sunday night again the 7 p.m. going to do the Quran Halqa, followed by Salam and Marsiya, Majlis, Matam, and then Salat Maghriban, followed by Iftar break, and then we're going to get together at after the break with Dua Iftitah with the basic amal on Sunday night, and then we finish up the basic amal, give the break, and then we start the long amal inshallah. This all the long amal is depending how many Mu'mineen are want to sit here and do the amal with Maulana. So remember, and also we have a noise control too till 12. So maybe we have to shut down a couple of speakers, but we're going to use that speaker on the Salat side. So, sorry? Brother Mirza Abbas is bringing a sari inshallah for Mu'mineen. If you like to stay here, please give your name to him. No, inshallah, Brother Mirza, if the Mu'mineen is here, yes, of course, we're going to arrange something, inshallah, pakoda. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. As you all know, it's Shab-e Zarbat of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. This is a night when we all are going to lose our father, with this Zarb. And this next 3 days are very critical to us. It's no, brother, feeling for losing your real father. So with that, Alhamdulillah, we are blessed to have Maulana Mirza Abbas from UK attending these programs, and for Surah Fatihas and sponsors, I think he's going to do it. With your loud salawat, I'm going to invite Maulana to address the majlis. Bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad salawat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I would request, tonight is a very special night. A special night not only for us, a special night for the whole creation, for everything that has been created, whether that be angels, whether that be dust particles. So it's a very powerful night, a night that changes the destiny of every little thing, changes to a better, takes it to a higher level. And it's a very unique night in terms of it being miraculous, where the spiritual reality, the metaphysical reality, meets the physical reality that happens once a year. And as I was discussing this afternoon with a brother in regards to why do we follow lunar calendar, because there's always ikhtilaf in terms of the lunar calendar, you know, as we have here as well, but we can discuss that later. But the principle of following a lunar calendar, why don't we follow a solar calendar? As the brother was mentioning, that even the solar calendar that we had, when they decided to, you know, fix dates and stuff, still there was a problem. It's not a precise and perfect calendar as such. That's why we have a leap year, you know. And eventually we lose a complete day. Losing a complete day, it doesn't really make sense as such. That the earth loses a day, which is not beneficial. Islam talks about a lunar calendar. A lunar calendar where we find that sometimes the month of Ramadan is in summer, like this year for example. Sometimes it's in December. For the brothers and sisters in Australia, it's winter now. Their fast is maybe 12 hours. Our fast is about 16 hours. So Allah wants to have the adalat, wants to have justice towards all creation. So He made a lunar calendar so that we also have a fast in winter, right? Because we will be complaining, as you know, we always complain, you know. So we will be complaining, the MOMIN or the people in Australia, it's not fair. They are always fasting in August and in summer, so they are having only less of a fast. But we are fasting here in summer, and it's so hot and it's long hours. So Allah says, no, there should be adalat, there should be balance, equality. So sometimes they fast in summer and sometimes they fast in winter, same as we. That's number one. The second point which I wanted to mention here, because it's the night of Qadr. Night of Qadr is a very powerful night. It's a miraculous night. And as I said, that every particle created benefits from that night and wants to benefit from that night. Even the day and the sun and the date wants to benefit from that night. So if the night of Qadr was fixed on one night, on one day, for example, on 15th of, I don't know, April, for example, fixed, 15th of April is the night of Qadr, then definitely January 1st, January 2nd, and other dates will complain to Allah that why don't we have the honor to have the night of Qadr on that day. So the night of Qadr rotates in the whole year, sometimes on the 1st of January, sometimes 2nd, 3rd till 31st of December. So the night of Qadr will fall on one of the nights of the day, or one of the nights of the calendar, so that that day or that night will benefit from the night of Qadr. So that that day and that night will not complain to Allah that why have I not been given that opportunity to have that night on that night. So that's the reason why we follow the lunar calendar. It's based on the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Definitely, the question of sighting of the moon, the difference of opinion in regards to sighting of the moon, all of that things, come with it. But the point is that what has been cleared for us in terms of the sighting, we have to follow that. That's why the Marajid do not specify that this is it. They give us the principle and they leave it to us. Now, if it has become clear that tonight is the, for example, Shab-e-Qadr, we follow that. It's between the knowledge and the understanding and the clarity that I have and my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So therefore, in regards to the dates, the Marajah provides the principle. It is us and for us to really decide on that principle which night and which day and when to start, for example. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I request Surah Fatiha for all marhumin. Like as we said, it's a very special night even for marhumin. The destiny of marhumin is also descends tonight. Not only for us, but even for marhumin. It reaches to the level of marhumin first because they are in barzakh, they are in the metaphysical realm, and then to the physical realm. So when the night descends, it comes from the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it comes from the Amr. There are two realms. There is Alam Amr, there is the world of Amr, and which is known as the realm of Anwar or the realm of lights. And there is Alam Atsam, which is the realm of bodies. We are in the realm of bodies. And there is Alam Amr, which is parallel to this world. This is physical world, and parallel to, right opposite in the hierarchy is the metaphysical world, which is the Alam Amr. In the Alam Amr, there is no time as such. In the Alam Amr, in the Alam of commands, there is no time as such. That's why it is kun fayakun, that's it. But in the Alam Atsam, there is time, there is pain, there is destination, there is prolongation, there is gradation and development and progress. That's all Alam Atsam. That's why it is night of Qadr, but it is till the Fajr. But in the Alam Amr is kun fayakun. So تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. It is coming from the Alam Amr in regards to the Alam Atsam, to our bodies, to our physical world. So in the Alam Amr, there are two realms, as we said. There is Alam Amr, which is the metaphysical world, and there is Alam Atsam. In the Alam Atsam, you have days, nights. That's why God says that I have created the world in 6 days, because it's Khalq. Alam Khalq, Alam Atsam, and Alam Amr, which is the realm of command, the realm of kun fayakun. When it comes to this dunya, there are 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. In 2 days, He created the heaven and earth. In 2 days, He created whatsoever is in the heaven and earth. is divided because it's alam khalq. It is that physical creation. So the night of Qadr comes from that alam amr, and it meets with the alam khalq, and that is a mu'jiza. How that happens, what the tanazzalul malaikatu, and also not just malaika, war ruh. What is ruh? Qul ar-ruh min amri rabbi. Ruh is from the realm of amr. O Prophet, tell them, ruh is from the amr. What is amr? It is beyond our imagination and comprehension. We have to enter the alam amr. وَقَانَ قَابِ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى, where time doesn't exist, where that night journey becomes a night where the water was still running and the chain of the door of the Prophet was still swinging, but he went to the seventh heaven and he returned back. That's alam amr. So tonight is the night where the alam amr meets the alam khalq. It's a night of miracle, right? So for every creation. So now marhumin, may Allah bless them all, and all marhumin, please recite Surah Fatiha for Mir Dilawar Hussain Abidi, Rabab Begum, Sayyid Wilayat Hussain Abidi, Munirun Nisa Begum Abidi, Sayyid Alamdar Hussain, Mir Ibn Hussain, Mir Farzand Hussain, Sayyid Duzdad Ali, all marhumin and mu'mineen and mu'minat. Al-Fatiha. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. One more thing I just wanted to mention, that MOMIN, we are in MOMIN Center, all right? Yeah, Alhamdulillah. ये मोमिन का जो नाम है सेंटर का, इसका चेंज कर देना चाहिए, क्योंकि मोमिन को हमेशा धोखा होता है. मोमिन को सब अकेला छोड़ के चले जाते हैं. तो आई थिंक इसका नाम चेंज कर दें तो शायद मोमिनीन सब वापस आ जाए. सलवात भेजो मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद. So Mu'min, as we took the name of the Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, always make sure that you take the name of the Mu'mineen and Mu'minat in your du'as. My father marhum, may Allah bless his soul and increase his daraja, and all marhumin inshallah, would always used to say, when he used to request for du'as, he would say, मुझे general ward में नहीं डालना, special ward. General ward, Mu'mineen and Mu'minat. Special ward, Qasim, that was his name, marhum. So we should always try to take the name of the Mu'mineen and Mu'minat when we are making du'as. Why? Because that taking the name becomes the reason of acceptance of my dua. अगर हम मोमिनीन और मोमिनात का नाम दुआ में लेते हैं, उस नाम की वजह से मेरी दुआ कबूल होती है, हमारी दुआ कबूल होती है. For what? Why? Because who is a mu'min? What is the definition of a mu'min? What is the reality of a mu'min? Mu'min, for example, you would say a mu'min is the one who have iman. Mu'min is the one who believe in Allah, who believe in wilayat, for example. That's how they differentiate. Muslim is the one who believe in Allah and Rasul. A mu'min is the one who believe in the wilayat of Ahl Bayt, and Amirul Mu'mineen. So that's a mu'min, that's what. But the true definition of a mu'min, mu'min is one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mu'min, there are 99 names of Allah. One of the name of Allah is mu'min. Al-mu'min mir'atul mu'min. There's a narration. Mu'min एक दूसरे का आईना होता है. Mu'min is the mirror of mu'min. We reflect each other. We show our good and evil of each other. We correct each other. When we look at ourselves in the mirror, we try to fix ourselves. by looking in it. We try to improve. We try to see where the defect and default is. So a mu'min kind of advises each other, appreciates each other, like each other, because we like to see ourselves in the mirror. So the same way the mu'min is the reflection. So we should like to see each other as well, mu'minin and mu'minat, the way we like to see ourselves in the mirror. Al-mu'min mir'atul mu'min. Mu'min is Allah. And the reflection of Allah is in mu'min. A true mu'min is manifestation and reflection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a mu'min. A mu'min as a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, contains within it all of the other asma as well. When we say Allah is mu'min, doesn't mean that He is not Rahman. He is Rahman at the same time. He is 100% mu'min and 100% Rahman at the same time. Otherwise there will be duality. Right? When we say mu'min, He is Rahim at the same time, Sattar at the same time, Ghaffar at the same time. And all of the other attributes is 100%, for us to understand, 100%. And the attribute of being a mu'min, the one who provides that security, is also 100%. Right? All of the attributes are in that name of mu'min as well. So the same way, on the same token, a mu'min, an insan kamil, a true mu'min, is manifestation and reflection of all of the attributes that is in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the mu'min. And we are honored. And this honor given to us is because of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. That we are considered as a mu'min. I would request my dear brothers and sisters to pay attention and follow. These points are, if you miss something, you're going to miss the whole thing, because I always speak on the level of principles, So therefore, a mu'min is reflection of all of the attributes. Al-mu'min mir'atul, that mu'min. A mu'min is a reflection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when we take the name of a mu'min, I say, for example, Mir Dilawar Hussain Abidi. When I take a name of a mu'min in my dua, it provides the sweet fragrance. It makes the dua shireen. Allahumma aghfir lil mu'minina wal mu'minat. Okay, good. But Allahumma aghfir Mir Dilawar Hussain Abidi. How sweet is that? Allahumma aghfir Ali Bhai. How sweet is that? Azhar Bhai. These names bring so much sweetness in our duas. It gets rid of the coldness, the ikhtilaf, whatever that may be. It clears our hearts when we take the name. And when we take the name, for example, I say Mir Dilawar Hussain. Mir Dilawar Hussain, with all the limitation. We all have limitations. We all have faults. We all have differences, right? But there are certain realities that Mir Dilawar Hussain have, which I don't have. There are certain goodness, certain beauties, certain attributes and qualities which Ali Bhai have, I don't have. When I take the name of Ali, those qualities which he has is contained in my dua. And it makes my dua heavy. It makes my dua beautiful. Because his name have been uttered by me in the dua. Why do we take the names of Ahl Bayt, Beka Ya Allah, Be Muhammadin, Be Ali, why? Because those names have certain unique realities within them by which the paths of the heaven opens and our dua reaches towards the heaven. Because we are taking that name. Because that name is attached or connected to those attributes or to those qualities that that person have. Right? That's why when you touch the name of Ahl Bayt, we have to be in wuzu. Mustahab, particularly for the names of Allah, 100%. We have to be in wudu to touch that name. Right? Because even those names, those writings, those asma have reality. It is very powerful, right? Because this reality is a vertical reality, not a horizontal reality. Because if you have a danger sign with a skull and a bone, you touch that, nothing will happen. Because this is a horizontal reality. But the Asma' Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam have a vertical reality. This name, the Quran, is directly connected to that Quran. This name of Ahlul Bayt is connected to Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So when we take the names of Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, it brings that fragrance and that sweetness and those pure qualities and attributes that person have in my prayers. And this becomes the reason of my du'as being accepted. That's why you should always take the names of your friends, of your family members, particularly of the marhumeen. Especially as we are in the nights and special nights, the night prayers, namaz-e-shab. We take the name of 40 mu'mineen and mu'minat. May Allah bless all your marhumeen. And when we take the name of the marhum, for example, my father, I take the name, Mirza Muhammad Qasim ibn Mirza Abdul Jawad. When I take that name, this becomes the time of that appointment. You have an appointment with the doctor, you go to that time, So in that night prayers, when I'm taking the name of the marhum, my aunt, my khala, whoever that may be, thank you Allah, right? Or my brother, right? And when I take that name of that marhum, it is the time of meeting of me with that marhum. And that marhum waits as well. Next morning, he will be waiting. Arey, appointment hai, milna hai. So you will feel bad. It will pull the attraction of that metaphysical reality, of that barzakh, pulls you out from that bed and gives you the opportunity to meet the arwah who are in barzakh. Right? You will feel, this is very natural. They will expect and you are also obliged. The same way, I call and I say, Ali Bhai, I want to meet you. I'm coming tomorrow, this time. Ali Bhai is waiting for me. I have to go. I will feel obliged to go. Otherwise, it will be, disrespectful towards Ali Bhai, and also it will be, not good in terms of my akhlaq that I have given that time and I haven't gone there, right? So I feel obliged of that meeting to take place. So the power of Salatul Layl and remembering of the Mu'mineen, once again names, look how powerful the names of the Mu'mineen are. Imagine what a Mu'min would be. Just the name of a Mu'min is so powerful. Imagine what a Mu'min is. That's why Ali ibn Abi Talib have said that if a Mu'min commands the mountain to move, the mountain will move. That's a Mu'min. That's the power of a Mu'min. Right? So the name of a Mu'min have that much power that it pulls me out of the bed in order for that meeting to take place and connects me. Look, what is a Mu'min doing? What is the reality of a Mu'min? The reality of a Mu'min is that a Mu'min connects us to a higher realm. Mu'min center कर क्या रहा है? Mu'min center ये कर रहा है कि हमें खुदा से मुलाकात करा रहा है. And it should be, these things are very important. A place that have become the source of our launching ground towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that makan, that community, those brothers and sisters. And that combination have become the launching pad, the connecting point for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very powerful. And it should be supported, it should be kept together no matter what. There may be many centers, with all due respect, We should all more, let there be more. More and more. Right? In every neighborhood there's a mosque in Islamic countries. Let that be happen here. Every neighborhood there'll be namaz jamaat, there'll be all of these things. But Kaaba is Kaaba all the time, which is the first house of God. This, for Dallas, MOMIN have that value. Because MOMIN Center was the first and must be respected and must be honored. And it should be the point of bringing everyone together, because it has, and it has become, and it has that value in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, a MOMIN's reality is that it connects us to God. So when I'm taking the name of Marhumin, take Surah Fatiha. I'm reciting Fatiha. I'm reciting the book of Allah. For what? For a MOMIN, yes. But MOMIN is giving me the opportunity to recite an extra surah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Mir Damad Dilawar Hussain Saab. Thank you. Because of him I'm reciting extra. Because of him, there's so much of charity being given. So many people, their dunyavi needs are fulfilled and their ukhravi needs are fulfilled. Why? Because it's a MOMIN. That's the reality of a MOMIN. So, al-izzatu lillah wa li rasulihi wa lil mu'minin. The honor, izzah, belongs to Allah, belongs to the Rasul, and belongs to the mu'mineen. So when I respect a mu'min, I'm actually respecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because a mu'min is always connected to Allah. Because a mu'min is nothing but the reflection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyana Habibina wa Tabib Nufusina Ashrafil Anbiyahi wal Mursalina Bil Qasim al Mustafa Muhammad wa alihi tayyibin at-tahirin al-ma'sumin al-mazlumin wa la'natu ad-da'im ala a'da'ihim ajma'in min alan ila qiyam yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. قال الله الحكيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وعلى محمد. Are we really serious? It really depends. Are we serious about ourselves? Are we serious about our future? Are we serious about our iman, about what we believe in, what we call ourselves? We call ourselves as Shi'an Ali ibn Abi Talib. We call ourselves as Mu'mineen. Like I said, Amirul Mu'mineen said, a mu'min is the one who asks for the mountain to move, the mountain will move. That's the hadaf. That's the purpose of Ali ibn Abi Talib. That's the purpose. If I am, or if I have not reached to that state, not reached to that stage, then I'm wasting my time. And I'm wasting others' time too. I'm wasting the time of Imam Zaman as well. Imam Zaman wants, who does Imam Zaman wants? When Imam will return, may Allah haste his reappearance. Imam Zaman wants someone who's asked the mountain to move, the mountain will move. That type of soldier Imam Zaman wants. Not a soldier who is lazy, but at the same time, who is mu'min, I'm a mu'min. Not a soldier like me, who is difficult for him to control his hunger, to control his thirst, control his desire, control his thoughts, control his eyes. If I even ask for a, cloth to move, the cloth will not move. Leave aside the mountain. Imam Zamana wants someone who asks the mountain to move, the mountain will move. And these majalis, these mimbar, the Quran, the night of Qadr, should bring us closer to that level. So we have to check and we have to see, am I really serious about it or not? Do I really want to become like that or not? Do I want to be like, yes, whatever I may be now, Abu Hamza Somali, Abu Hamza Somali, he was a thief. He used to rob people who used to go on the motorway, on the highway. But look how Imam Sajjad changed him. And he became Abu Hamza Somali, Salman of the time. But he was a thief, but it changed. Who changed? The Imam Zaman changed. Imam Zainul Abidin changed. We also have Imam Zaman. We also have Imam Zaman. And for the Imam Zaman, there is no limitation whether the Imam be in Zahir or in Ghaib is the same. Do we have Iman on that or not? Do we believe in that or not? We believe in that. And we have heard and we have seen over and over again that it doesn't make any difference to the Imam. Whether he is Zahir or whether he is in the Parde Ghaib, in the Batin or hiding. He will have the same power as he has the power when he is Zahir. And as a matter of fact, this is something I have reflected on. When he is in Ghaib, the power of reaching Mu'minin and Mu'minat perhaps is more than his Zahir. That's what I think. The power of Manaviya, something now in the margin. I'm going to come back to my topic. One point I want to make here in regards to dua, because tonight is the night of dua and we talk about Mu'minin and Mu'minat and dua. So in the margin, I'm making this point. The power of Manaviya, spiritual realities, increases when there is physical limitation. Right now, we are going through strange times, which in the whole history of man, perhaps it has not happened. There was plague, there was epidemic, pandemic and whatnot, but not to this scale, not to this sort of reality, right? Previously, this is the first time. Many of our seniors, when we speak to them, they say that, hota tha, magar aisa kabhi nahi suna, it never happened like this before, it used to be there, So, there is physical restrictions. There is physical restrictions now. We cannot gather, we cannot pray together, we cannot, hug each other, shake hands with each other. And there are many narrations or rewards that we may be deprived of as such, because it's actually based on the intention, al-amal bin niyyah. However, there are certain aspects that the rewards been mentioned in regards to shaking hands, for example. When a mu'min shakes hands with another mu'min, the sins of both mu'minin are forgiven. There's a narration which says that. Masalan, shaking hands. But now we are restricted to do so. However, the intention counts and we will be rewarded for it. Okay? So what does this indicate? This is actually indicating that the spiritual reality have become more powerful than the physical reality. So on the same token, when there are physical restrictions, and when there were physical restrictions for Mu'minin and Mu'minat from the Khulafa of the time, and they were persecuted, and they were challenged and killed and locked, all those physical restrictions were there. At that time, special spiritual Manavi powers were provided to Mu'minin and Mu'minat. Dua have that spiritual power. The acceptance of dua, the power of dua becomes more stronger when there are physical restrictions, because dua is a Manavi thing, right? So when there are physical restrictions, the Manaviyat increases. The spiritual reality manifests out on a stronger level. So therefore, a mu'min should fully benefit from this physical restrictions that has happened. He hasn't created, it has happened. Whatever it may be so. Maybe it used to be from the khulafa of the time. Maybe it is not from the khulafa of the time, it has happened. However, there are restrictions. Now, as these restrictions are there, we have to make sure that we benefit from the manavi aspect, and it becomes more powerful. So therefore, as Imam al-Asr alayhi salam is physically not present as such in our physical sense, but he is in the manavi aspect there. The reality is there, just like the sun behind the clouds. When that is there, the spiritual aspect is more powerful. And the aid and help and connection becomes more powerful. If a MOMIN wants to connect, that's the point. If I want to connect to the Imam al-Asr, to Imam Zaman, to the Manawi reality, if I want to, then it will be par excellence. It will be beyond imagination. One will be like shock. Allama Tabatabai says that for past 20 years, I am in a relationship with the arwah, with the inner world, that, and I am amazed that how come the people do not see that, right? So the point is that, are we serious or not? And if we are serious, tonight is the night. If we are serious, the nights of Qadr is the night. Hazrat Suleiman, Payambar, the Prophet Suleiman, he had entourage, he had, soldiers, beings, creatures who could travel the 1 month journey in one night. They have some sort of equipment. They were powerful. And they say that they could travel a night journey, they would travel a month journey in one night. More powerful than, NASA rockets and stuff, right? That's Hazrat Suleiman. That's the miracle of Hazrat Suleiman. That his horizontal travel of a month is carried out or is done in a night. But look at the mu'jiza of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That one night will take us more than 1,000 months. Khayrun min alf shahr. That a night of Qadr is more than 80 years, a lifetime. Just one night. And this one night is not a journey of horizontal travel, but is a journey of vertical travel. And this is the Quran. And this is the blessing that we have through no one but Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? Because it is because of him. It was this man who managed to download that Quran, who managed to reach that level and bring that Quran for us. It was because of his sincerity, his ibadat, his reality that Allah sent that Quran. That's why clearly the Quran says that, if I have revealed this Quran upon the mountains, it will shatter into dust. But it was the heart of the Prophet which managed to download this. It was the heart of the Prophet which managed to take this Quran. And it was the night of Qadr. It was tonight. Khayrum min alf shahr. Because there are two nuzul, two descents of the Quran. Okay? Just like as we said, there's alam amr and alam khalq. The descent of the Quran is also two. One is the descent which is daf'i, which means in one go. The whole Quran was revealed upon the heart of the Prophet. And that happens on the night of Qadr, the whole Quran. And then there is nuzul tadrijan. Gradually, the Quran was revealed in the span of 23 years. So, there is a nuzul daf'i, which takes place upon the heart of the Prophet on the night of Qadr. But this doesn't mean that it once took place in the beginning of Hijrah or beginning of the mission of the Prophet, the whole Quran was revealed on the night of Qadr on the heart of the Prophet, and then 23 years it took. No. Every night of Qadr, the whole Quran is revealed upon the heart of the Prophet, because Quran is eternal, because it's the word of God. When God is eternal, His word will be eternal too. Right? When God is eternal, the Alullah will be eternal too, which is Ahlul Bayt. The reality of the Quran is eternal. The reality of Ahlul Bayt is eternal as well. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So therefore, there is nuzul dafi that takes place upon the heart of the Prophet, and there is nuzul tadriji. That nuzul dafi in one go that take place on the night of Qadr. Now, one more thing we'll add. The same way, the Prophet says in a narration that, what is Quran? What is the reality of the Quran? When a person is reciting the Quran, it is as if a wahi is descending upon his heart, except that he is not a Nabi Mursal. Nabi Mursal, Nabi is with Risala. Except that he is not a prophet like a messenger. So when we recite the Quran, it is as if the Quran is descending upon our heart. That's what honor we get when we recite the Quran. Our heart becomes like the heart of the Prophet. So on the same token, if there is nuzul dafi of the Quran upon the heart of the Prophet on the night of Qadr, there is a nuzul dafi, a Quran upon the heart of a MOMIN on the night of Qadr. So is our heart cleansed and clean, as they say, our sixth Imam, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, that the heart can become rusted. It needs cleaning, right? So we have to clean our heart with astaghfar. That's how the amal begins. You know, we pray 2 rakat prayer and then we do astaghfar. And astaghfar is very powerful. You know, Agha Bahjat, he says, do you want me to give you the treasure of all zikr? Ganj, khazana, tamam askar ka khazana main dun tumhar ko? The ganj and the treasure of all zikr is astaghfirullah, is astaghfar. So we begin the amal of the night of Qadr by astaghfar. So when we are reciting, which we'll recite in a moment, we should reflect upon our sins and bring that to our mind and do astaghfar for that. That's cleaning of the heart. After all of that astaghfar and du'as, seeking forgiveness, the heart becomes ready. When the heart becomes ready, here comes the Quran on our head. Bika ya Allah, bika ya Allah. That is the Quran coming on our head. That's the nuzul of the Quran upon our heart, on our heart. Right? That's the descent. These are the symbolic reality of our amal. That's what we perform. Right? Till when? Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. Till that fajr. Till there is salam. Salam is peace. Right? They ask the sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam, when is night of Qadr? He said that when the night of Qadr is, you will be able to smell the sweet fragrance of the night of Qadr. The night of Qadr have fragrance to it. Right? Fragrance, why did he use the word fragrance? Right? Because it is beyond physical reality. Fragrance is beyond physical reality. When I say it is summer, the air is hot. In winter, the air is cold. Hot and cold, summer and winter have a physical reality. Fragrance doesn't have a physical reality. That's why the Prophet says, I love 3 things from this dunya. Right? Prayers and fragrance is the second one that he says. Khushbu, itr. Right? And that fragrance, because it has a metaphysical reality. It could be in summer, it could be in winter, it could be any time. But if I say it is summer, the reflection is, it must be very hot in summer. You know, winter, it's very cold. But fragrance is a metaphysical reality, khushbu. Khushbu, fragrance, has a reality where the physical reality connects with the metaphysical reality. It's very symbolic. Huh? It's very symbolic. Every physical reality has some sort of fragrance to it. That's what it reaches the marhum. Why do we do Fatiha on food? Is it food will reach them? They don't need food. Yes, there is, on the highest level is Fatiha, the Quran and all that, I know. I appreciate that. That is there, no doubt. But there's something more to it. And that is that fragrance of that, whatever food, and particularly that food which is liked by the marhum. That's what we usually tend to give. Arey, inko ye pasand tha to hum jo hai ye inke naam pe denge, Why? Because there's some sort of attachment with the soul, nafs-e-insan, with that fragrance. And that's why, in the afternoon or when we pass by a store or, this morning, Azhar Bhai said, I'm in the hotel, right? Fajr ke baad Maulana Sahab नाश्ता वहाँ fruit ज़बरदस्त मिलता है, आप जाके लाके फ्रिज में रख लें. Azhar Bhai told me, ऐसे ये बड़ा इम्तिहान है भाई, रोज़ा का टाइम सहरी कर ली, नमाज पढ़ ली, Azhar Bhai बोले नीचे जाके फ्रूट ला के रख लें. अब मैं नीचे गया फ्रूट लेने, और ठंडा फ्रूट और बहुत खुशबू, fragrance, you get pulled by that physical movement, everything takes place with that fragrance. Because fragrance is related to the nafs-e-insan, have a relationship with the soul. That's why it's a mustahab that when we are praying salat, we should put fragrance, khushbu, right? Because there's a connection with the metaphysical realm. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So Imam says that the night of Qadr have that fragrance, that khushbu. A mu'min will figure it out when it is. He will be able to know. So are we serious? Like as I was mentioning, a mu'min is the one. Do we really want to enter that realm? Do we really want or not? Yes, we all want. That's why we are here. But we need to be more serious about it. We need to be more sincere about it. We need to do something more about it. Alhamdulillah, what we have done, and because of what we have done, we are here today. Alhamdulillah. Because of what we have done. But the friends of Imam Zaman needs to do a bit more. The helpers of Imam Zaman needs to do a bit more. The time have come that we need to do extra. Because when we look at the physical advancement, mind boggles, really wonders. 2050 we will be landing in Mars. But have we landed in Mars spiritually as such? Have we traveled outside the physical world in our ruh, in our spirit? Have we felt that? Have we gone beyond Mars in terms of being a mu'min or not? So that's the point. And that is possible. And that is possible, and the beginning of that is the night of Qadr, is tonight. Is one of the nights of Qadr is tonight, isn't it so? 19th, 21st and 23rd, 25th, 27th, the odd nights. Once again, this is also dates been indicated because not everyone can smell the fragrance, but we have to start smelling the fragrance. Whenever the fragrance comes, it takes time. It comes from far. So perhaps we start on the 19th. It's a preparation. But a mu'min definitely realizes when it is. But this doesn't mean that, mu'min knows that it's on the 23rd, so he's sleeping on the 19th night. He does not sleep from first night of Ramadan, a mu'min. That doesn't mean that, a mu'min knows the fragrance when it is. So we should really try to look for that night only to do ibadat. No, a mu'min is awake from first night of Ramadan. A mu'min is awake from Rajab, Shaban and, right? So, therefore, for people like us, it's a preparation. Rajab, month of wilayat, month of Allah. Shaban, month of Rasulullah. Ramadan, month of Allah. It's all preparation. So that, it becomes easier for us. out of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They give us a lead. When we like someone, we give our children a lead to get to the treasure. So this is like giving us the lead. 19th, start preparing, short amal, big amal, right? Whoever stays, he will do amal. Not here, Maulana also go home and sleep. He has to collect his breakfast in the morning because, right? So therefore, there's a preparation. 19th, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 20th. And also when it goes away, it's not like, okay, 23rd, chalo, ho gaya bhaiya, and everything is fine. Let's start back our Netflix that we were watching every night, right? So it's not like that. Even if it's finished, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th, the night of Eid is so powerful. Almost equal to the night of Qadr, they say, according to some certain riwayat, right? So it's preparation. So if we are serious about it, if we want to bring that change in us, we should make sure that we benefit from this night, that we reflect, that we make use of this opportunity that is provided to bring a revolution. Because this night is at 80 years of, it's like saying the child have just born. It's 1 day or 1 hour. Next day is the night of Qadr. He became 80 years. Right? 80 years in just 1 day? Yes. He reached that level of maturity and that perfection at that age. So tonight, that's the night of Qadr. It gives us, in terms of our spiritual reality, our manaviyat, the aspect of the manaviyat can change like that with sincerity. Baba Tahir Oriyan. Baba Tahir was a poet, a very famous poet. He's known as Oriyan. Oriyan means naked. And he was very much interested in mysticism, in Irfan. And he always liked to learn about metaphysical, about Irfan, about mysterious reality, what it is and what not. All of these, I try to pose with giving you these terminologies and, right? So he really wanted to know all of these things, right? But he was a simpleton. He was a bit sadeh, he was a thick head a bit. But he was sincere. He really liked and he really wanted to know. So in Iran, you have these madrasas, these seminaries, right? And in winter, it's really cold and it's quite, while back. And the pound used to freeze and they used to break the water to make wudu, right? All madrasas have a court. In the courtyard, there's a pound there, So they told the friends of Baba Tahir Oriyan, because they knew that he is simpleton, to get a kick out of him, just to make fun of him. They told him that, oh Baba Tahir, if you go jump into that pound which was frozen, and then when you come out, you will become Arif. So he was so simple. He said, really? He said, yes, do it. So here Baba Tahir takes his clothes off. Oriyan means no clothes, right? He takes his clothes off and he goes and he jumps into that cold water. And everybody were laughing at Baba Tahir Oriyan. But when Baba Tahir Oriyan comes out of water, he recited Irfani poetry. He started reciting Irfani poetry. That was given to him because of his sincerity. Because he really wanted. And what type of poetry? That people have to study 20 years of terminologies and Irfani mystical terminologies to understand what Baba Tahir is saying. So that one dip of Baba Tahir with sincerity to know the reality, to give him that 8 years. A person have to spend 8 years to understand what Irfan is, then he will figure out what Baba Tahir is reading or what Baba Tahir wrote. Right? So if that sincerity is there, if that khulus is there, plus we have Ahl Bayt. When Abu Hamza Somali, who was a thief, can become Salman of Farsi, why not Imam Zaman can make us Salman of Farsi? Or close to Salman of Farsi. So the point is, Now going towards the conclusion, what to ask on the night of Qadr? How to ask on the night of Qadr? What is of value? Right? That's what that we need to figure out, that we need to know. Yes, we want shifa, we want success, we want this house, we want, position, money, whatever you want to call. This is all horizontal realities. Right? Ahl Bayt gives eyes to those who are blind. We have seen it. They put the tie Imam to the zari of Imam Raza. Nabina shakhs usko jo hai binai mil jati hai Imam Raza ke zariye. Right? They tie themselves who is falij, who is paralyzed, who is ill, to the shrine of Hazrat Masuma salamullah alayha. He is cured. Right? So all of these physical realities are given. But the night of Qadr is actually for asking the eyes which could see the ghaib, the heart which could get rid of the illnesses of the ruh. That's the heart we want. That's type of eyes we want. That type of understanding and marifat that we should really ask for tonight and then on the nights of Qadr. And the month of Ramadan is for that. MashaAllah, may Allah accept the niyaz that was sponsored today and all niyaz that has been sponsored and will be sponsored. How much we eat? Just little. I guarantee you eat less than your regular days. You are having lunch in your regular days, breakfast in your regular days. Yeah, Azhar bhai ghadi bata rahe hain. Okay, inshallah. You have all of these things, right? So therefore, with respect, it's just to people laugh a bit, maza, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And at the same time, we have dinner. And dinner bhi mashallah. Sab kuch hote hue bhi, dinner is also mashallah. But in the month of Ramadan, we don't eat enough of breakfast, no lunch, right? And on top of that is always upset. Fresh fruit mil rahe hain, hotel mein kha nahi sakte, fajr ke baad, right? All of that is there, koft kar rahe hain. Magar phir uske baad jo hai, jab iftari hoti hai, bas thoda sa khate hain, just little bit and we are full. Amirul Mu'minin, what he used to eat? Just a little. But how strong he was. Ahl Bayt, how much they ate? Very little, but strong. That imani strength was there. So month of Ramadan is that. That's what we need to ask on these nights. Yes, we can ask for the shifa, that is good for mu'mineen, for us, for our children, success, education, all that. That should be there as well. But at the same time, a reflection, on that amr, on that alam, in that realm. That insight is needed. That heart have a buyer. That heart have a buyer, and the buyer is Imam Zaman. And tonight is the special night, which is also we extend our condolences to Imam Al-Asr. It's the night of sorrow. The joy and happiness of ours is connected with the joy and happiness of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. You all have come here. I was just watching little children, young children. You think your presence here will go to waste? You think your presence here is not recorded by Fatimatu Zahra? She knows. You have come here, you know that it is the night that the beloved of Fatima gets injured. You have gathered here to shed some tears, to remember him, to remember the pain of Ali. Who can understand the pain of Ali other than Fatima? Fatima exactly knows the pain of Ali. That's why Ali said, Fatima, after you, my days will be like these dark nights. Because there was only Fatima who can understand the pain of Ali. So you have gathered here to provide that marham, to provide that ointment to the heart of Fatima. And you're being here, you're bringing of your children here, is seen and recorded by Fatima, and Fatima knows, and she will return your favor, your gathering, your coming here. As they say that Fatima will not enter paradise unless he picks up all of the Shias of Ali ibn Abi Talib. She will wait for us on the door of Jannah because she wants us to reach to that manaviya, to that reality. So this is just a preparation for reaching that manaviya, for reaching that reality. So, well done to all of you, dear Mu'minin and Mu'minat, that you have attended, participated on this special night, which is the night of the injury of Amirul Mu'minin. Amirul Mu'minin would go outside, he's awake all night doing ibadat. Tonight the same, and he is having iftar tonight in the house of Kulthum, one of the daughter of his, because he would have iftar every night in one of his children's house. So tonight was the night with Kulthum. Kulthum reports that I used to see my father. I brought the food for him, and there were 3 things on the food mat. He says that, Kulthum, have you ever seen that I have had food more than 2? Take away the milk that is there. So he had dry bread and water, that's all. Right? He would tie his jar of dry bread, saying that the children would put water in it, because he would always have dry bread. That's Amirul Mu'minin. That's our Imam. That's the Imam that we are losing today. Tell me there was a man like Ali on earth. That man is leaving this dunya tonight. Right? That type of man, regardless of our faith, creed, pick up the books of history. Look at the qualities of Amir. Look what a man he was. Every heart will cry when he realizes that this man was injured and he died. It's that night of paying that respect to this man. So he would tie his jar, he would seal his jar so that they don't put water. He would always have dry bread. After this, he would go outside in the yard, look at the heaven. He says, Hazel, it is tonight. Tonight is the promised night. Right? He says, Kulthum, the daughter, looks at the father, and she says that father is in a very different mood today. He's very different tonight. He was not like this before and before nights, but he's very different tonight. She's worried. He goes outside, he looks at the stars, and he comes back inside and says, this is the night. Because this night was promised by Rasulullah. Rasulullah, when he saw Amirul Mu'minin crying because he was not martyred, he says to, O Ali, in the month of Ramadan, there will be a night where your beard will be full of blood. So Hazrat Amir realized that it is tonight. So he comes back and he dozes off a bit, and he sees Fatima in the dream. He sees Rasulullah in the dream. He says, it's tonight, Ali. We are preparing and we are welcoming you tonight. And then Hazrat Amir comes out, early hours of Fajr on the night, on the 19th night. And as he leaves the house, look, this man who is so universal that he even attends to the birds of the house of Kulthum. The Khalifa of the time, the king of the time, leaving the house of his daughter for Fajr prayer, says to Kulthum, O Kulthum, take care of these birds. Provide them with food. If you cannot, free them. Even he is worried about the little birds. I really imagine what his heart was going through when he was thinking about Hassan and Hussein, about his own children, about the daughters, about Hazrat Zainab Salamullah alayha, that he was so particular. He was so careful about the hijab of the children. All fathers are careful about the hijab of the daughters, aren't they? What Ali would happen? What will Zainab go through? So he leaves the house and he goes in Masjid al-Kufa. And in Masjid al-Kufa, there was this person who was considered to be worse than the one who killed the she-camel of Saleh. right? He was worse than the one who killed the she-camel of Salih. And he was sleeping on his belly. The riwayat is from Muntahul Amal of Sheikh Abbas Qummi. He was sleeping on his belly, and he comes, he gives azan first. He goes to the minarets, he gives azan. And he says, the last azan that the Kufa have heard, the last azan that this world have heard from Amirul Mu'minin. And he comes down from the minarets and he sees Ibn Muljim lying on the belly, sleeping on the belly. Why? Because he was hiding a sword which was dipped in poison under the belly. And then he wakes him up. Look, he is giving advice to his own enemy. He knows that he's going to kill. He has already mentioned to his friend that this man is a foreigner, take care of him and all that. And then later on he says he's going to be the one who will kill me. Then they said, why don't we arrest him? He said, no, he hasn't committed a crime as of yet. Then he wakes him up, he advises him. That's how our Amir al-Mu'mineen was, and that's how we should be. You know, we have animosity and grudges with our own brothers. Leave aside enemies. Our Imam was so friendly and advising to Ibn Muljim, to Shimr, who was on the chest of Imam Hussein. And Imam Hussein says, Shimr, I will guarantee you Jannah. I will guarantee you Shafaat. Even after that. That's how kind he was. That's how caring he was. Right? And then Amirul Mu'min wakes him up. He says, don't sleep like this. It is the sleep of shaitan. Sleep on your side is the sleep of awliya. Or sleep on your back. It is the sleep of the anbiya. And then he goes in the mihrab to lead the prayers. And he begins and he says, Takbiratul Ihram, Allahu Akbar. And then he enters the realm of prayers, the ibadat. And then Ibn Muljim comes. And he strikes a blow, as the riwayah says, he misses the first one. And usually when you miss the first one, the second one you strike stronger. He misses the first one. And then he strikes the second blow on his head. It comes on his head. It cuts open his skull and the blood starts to flow. And he utters, Fusto bi Rabbil Kaaba. By the Lord of the Kaaba, I have been successful. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah lanatullah ala qawm al-dhalimeen. Sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayyamun qalibun yanqalibun. Matam ya Hussein, ya Hussein. 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 Ya Hussein.
زہرا تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی دربار میں ظالم کے گئی بنت پیمبر کیا وقت تھا کچھ کر نہ سکا فاتح خیبر ہائے ہنستے رہے غربت پہ تماشائی علی کی تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی ہائے زہرا علی کی پیغام ولایت لیے گھر گھر گئی زہرا شوہر کے لیے ڈھال تھی جب تک رہی زندہ ہائے دنیا کو بتاتی رہی سچائی علی کی تنہائی گلی کی ہائے زہرا تیری، علی کی کہتے تھے علی زہرا سے کیا حال ہے بی بی، اب ہم کو سلام آ کے بھی کرتا نہیں کوئی، ہائے ہے بات نبی کیسی پذیرائی علی کی، تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی، ہائے زہرا تیری، ہاں تنہائی علی کی، ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی کی، در جلتا ہوا فاطمہ زہرا پہ گرایا، محسن کی شہادت کا سبب بن گئی دنیا، ہائے تصویر مکمل نہیں ہو پائی علی کی، ہے تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی، ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی کی، ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی، دربار میں ظالم کے گئی بنت پیمبر، کیا وقت تھا کچھ کرنا سکا فاتح خیبر، ہائے ہنستے رہے غربت پہ تماشائی علی کی، تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی، ہائے زہرا علی کی، ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی، ہاں کہتے تھے علی زہرا سے کیا حال ہے بی بی، اب ہم کو سلام آ کے بھی کرتا نہیں کوئی، ہائے ہے بات نبی کیسی پذیرائی علی کی، تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی، ہائے زہرا کی، ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی کی، در جلتا ہوا فاطمہ زہرا پہ گرایا، محسن کی شہادت کا سبب بن گئی دنیا، ہائے تصویر مکمل نہیں، ہائے تصویر مکمل نہیں ہو پائی علی کی، ہے تیری تنہائی ہے تنہائی علی کی، ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی علی کی، ہائے زہرا تیری تنہائی، پیغام ولایت لیے گھر گھر گئی زہرا، شوہر کے لیے ڈھال تھی جب تک رہی زندہ، ہائے دنیا کو بتاتی رہی، ہائے دنیا کو بتاتی रही सच्चाई अली की, तेरी तन्हाई है तन्हाई अली की, हाय ज़हरा।
या अली मौला हैदर मौला, या अली मौला हैदर मौला, या अली मौला हैदर मौला, अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद. Brothers, we're going to do the ziyarat inshallah after the short amal. We have a 10 to 15 minutes break. The snacks are there. Brothers, can you go outside from this side, and sister can proceed from this side while we are making the if you like to use the bathroom, is hall B is for the brothers and hall A for the sisters. So if you like to make your wudu, please do so. Brothers, an amal book and Quran is right here. So for the amal, please take the amal book and the para from here for the amal. So you have a 15 minutes break. Please be on time. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.